mana e ngā reo, piri mai rā ki tēnei tātātou punua pāho o Under The Whāriki. Ko te ātākura Charlene, pewhairangi taku ingoa.
Ko tai o Halasahau, and we are here with the sweetest of berries today. Makaira herself, tēnā koe hoa, tēnā whakamārama mai ko ai koe nohe a koe.
Kia ora e te whānau, koutou e mātaki mai nei ko Makaira Berry taku ingoa. He uri ahau no Ngāti Porou me ngai tūhoi, he toronga hoki oku ki te mahia, nuku taurua, te muriwai, ngai tā manuhere. I te puake ahau ki runga i te marae o Hoani Waititi, kamutu he rua te kaumawhitu a koutou.
Tēnā koe, piri mai rā. Mihi ana ki o mana, ki o tapu, o tira ki te kaupapa. I haere mai ai koe i tēnei rā. Ko ngā mihi, e utana ki runga ki a koe. Ka te, kia tīmata ke pea te wānanga, ki te whanaketanga mai o te whāngai i te tamaiti. Kia tīmata ke i heipu mai tērā i he ano hea rā te whakaaro.
Me pēnei pia te tīmata ake iwe nei kōrero, he tamaiti whāngai ahau, he tamaiti whāngai taku pāpa nāna ahau i whāngai, kamutu he whāngai tōku i nei, whātau te pakeke, he tuakana teina tūngāne whāngai anō oku. Nā reira, tēnei āhuatanga o te whāngai tamariki, e hara i te āhuatanga hou. Ki au, ki taku whānau, kamutu, kei te mahara ahau ki tētahi wai noho ai au ki taku māma, ki te kōrero mo tēnei kaupapa. Me tāna ki au, whāngai is the ultimate expression of love. To give a child.
Ai mariko.
Yeah, to give a child hei taonga mo te ngākau o tētahi atu tangata, kaore he arohai tu atu i tēnā. Kaore he arohai tu atu. Yeah. Would I do it myself? E aua. Engari, e tino whakamānawa nei au ki te hunga kua whakaaro nui. Ki te hunga pēnei au, kāre anō kia whai tamariki. Kua tuku i o rātou tamariki ki kāinga ke atu, ki whānau ke atu. Kamutu, ko au te tamaiti, ka tere hōhā ki oku teina, ki oku tuakana me oku tūngane. But I just can't imagine a world without them. They are my happiness and they are my joy. Ko rātou aku whakaainini mahunga, me aku whakaai o whenua. All in one. Nā reira, koira pia te tūāpapa i tai mai ai ahau i te rangi nei. Ko te hoki mahara ki te nui o te mana o te whāngai tamariki.
Kia ora.
E mana nui, kare e mana e tu atu. Grief ghosting he kupu hou, ki au.
He kupu hou, kia tātou, ki au kia tātou. Yeah, so, hei tūāpapa pia mo ngā kōrero i te rangi nei. Ka paku kōrero ahau mo te wheako i wheakongia e māua ko taku tāne i te rātau. No te marama o haratua ki taku mahara, i toro mai ai te ringa o taku sister-in-law me te inoi kia whangaiti ai māua tōna tamaiti i te hapuia, i te kōpuia. Kaore au i tere whakai atu, i te āhua horokuku, nā runga tonu i te mohio, kua tono ke mai tētahi i ngā tautata. Kamutu i panoni te whakaaro ai, i panoni ngā whakaaro o taua māma, nā waira, kāre au i whai whāngai. Kei te mahara hoki ahau ki taku tino mata popore. E hara noai te pauri, he mata popore. I te mōhio, tōna tikanga, i tēnei wānei, kua whai tamaiti ahau. Engari, nā te panonitanga o ngā whakaaro a tētahi, kaore au i Waimari. Nā reira, i horokuku ahau ki te whakai atu, ka hipa pia etahi toru whāwiki, ka haere ahau ki tētahi waku tino whaia, he māma anō ki au, ko whaia mera pene hira tōna ingoa. Tōna tamaiti ko tahi he tamaiti whāngai. Me taku wānanga, i wānanga au ki aia, me taku pātai, matua ki aia, how did you come to be settled within yourself to make the decision to whāngai, to te kiha? He tuahine whāngai anō ki au. Me tāna ki au, ko ngā koherite, he rite ngā kōrero ki tātaku māma i ki mai ki au. There is no greater love. There's no greater love than giving a whāngai or receiving a whāngai. He tohu tērā o te aroha nui, because there are no here, e kāre he here, A whakapapa, a toto, a haipapa nei, ki taua tamaiti, that is a choice that you make. So to make the choice to whāngai a child is the ultimate expression of love. Yeah. Nā reira, i hoki anō hau ki taku tāne, me te ki atu ai. Me whāngai mai, me whāngai taua i tēnei pepe. Hei taonga mō maua, kamatu, kia noho āhuru tonu a pepe ki roto i te whānau. Kia noho tonu ia ki te whānau. Koira taku hia nui mō taua tamaitira. Kia mōhio ia ko Mama Kaira ahau, ko Papa TJ tēnei, ko Mama Awhi tērā. Mātou katoa, mātou tokotoru, ko mātou o mātua. Aha ko anoho koe ki au, kia mātou i tāmaki nei, kei tūranga tō Mama whānau, kei tūranga tō tūākana, because she also has a 3-year-old. And that was of the utmost importance to me, that we all raise her, and that she belongs to all of us, like all our whāngai in my whānau. So te haratua, te haratua i tono mai taku sister-in-law, ka whakaia hau. No te marama o akuhata, kuhua ia ki te hohipera o tūranga i te taumaha te tinana i te Māuiwi. Ki reira, noho ai mo ngā rangi te kau. I te rangitua ngahuru i whakatauria i ngā tākuta kia whakamoia ia, e whai wā ai tōna tinana ki te whakatā. She was tired and very ill. Kamatu i waia mai ia, kia maiwa i tau āta tonu, me te ki mai kāre au i te, kei te rongo au, i tētahi rongo kino. Kāre au i te whakapono, ka tika mai taku tinana ki te whakamoia ahau. So she knew within herself, this is not good. Placing me in an induced coma is not good. Heoi anō, ko ngā tākuta tērā, ne me ahua whakarongo, me whakapono i ngā wā o te kore. Ka whakamoia ia, kāre i hipa te kotahi haora ka he manawa. She went into cardiac arrest. Waimarie i whakaora anō ngā tākuta i aia, i taua wā i whakatauria i ngā tākuta, kia karangahia ngā tākuta i Waikato, ki te haere ki te tiki i aia. Waikato arrives, and not long after their arrival, actually not long before they were about to airlift her back to Waikato, I he manawa anō ia. Second cardiac arrest in the one day. Nā reira, I taua wātonu, I panoni ngā whakaritenga, she needed more assistance. So Waikato returned to Waikato Hospital, I karangahia te tira ECMO o Tāmaki, ki te haere me te tiki i aia. So Tāmaki, the ECMO team from Auckland Hospital, went to retrieve my sister-in-law from Gisborne Hospital. Not long after their arrival, she arrested again. Nā reira, e toru ngā he manawatanga I te rangi kotai. Tēnei rangi, I taua rangi, I te ātasirohia rāuatahi, rāua ko pepe I te kopu.
Can I ask how far along the pregnancy was she at the time?
Yeah, so she was 22 weeks and 2 days, ki taku mahara. Yeah, and ECMO basically is dialysis for the organs when they become non-functioning, so she was as sick as she could be. I te tapa I au mate. Tai ana, te tira ECMO o Tāmaki ki Tūranga, I whakaoratia anotia ia e ngā tākuta, ka whakatauria tōna tinana ka rite ki te rere mai. Nā, tēnei, I taua wātonu, no ngā rangi e rua, kua hipa, mate ai te kiingi Māori. Nā reira, I te marangai kino a Aotearoa whānui. I te kino, te heke mai o te ua, I te papa, te whatitiri, I te haruru te rangi. So it was really unsafe for them to fly. To fly. Nā reira, me mihi a tauatira, without them and without their perseverance to fly her to Auckland, she probably wouldn't be here anymore. We wouldn't have a sister. I wouldn't have a sister-in-law here in the physical world anymore. Nā reira, me mihi a rātou. But they got up, they got into the air. I tirohia a pepe, I mua tata I te wehe I tūranga, I te ora ia. I te ora ia, I te ngenge, engari I te ora. Nā tai ana ki Tāmaki, I muri tata I te taingātu ki Tāmaki Makaurau. I tirohia anō te a pepe, kua mate a pepe I te kopu. So somewhere on the journey, I mate a pepe. Nā reira, hei, kia tere te tiro atu pēr ki tōna ingoa, I tapaina ia ki tētahi ingoa, I tohu ana I te wā. I te wā I mate ai ia. Kamatu, he hoki anō ki te āhua I whakaingoa te ai o tātou tīpuna, I o rātou pepe. Ne? Te nuinga o wā tātou tīpuna, o rātou ingoa he mea tohu I tētahi wā, tētahi kaupapa, tētahi parekura rānei. Nā reira, i ata whakaroa hau ki te āhua o te wā, me te āhua e rongo nei mātou te whānau, nā katau ko apakura hei ingoa mōna. I te mōhio tonu, i mate i ei te rangi, ne ia e rere mai ana i te kopu, i mate i ei i ngā rangi. Me te hiko o te rangi, me te haruru o te rangi, he tohu, he tangi apakura anō tērā. He koera te tangi ki au nei, te tangi apakura o ngā atua Māori me te wāhi ngaro, mō tō mātou iti, ka riro nei. Kamutu i te apakura mātou, i te apakura te ngākau o tōna whānau ka mahu iho nei. Nā reira, ko apakura, te ariki, te ua o ngā rangi, makarini, tūmoana kiriki no tōna ingoa. Te tamaiti ātāhua o ngā tamariki katoa ko tūtaki nei au. There is a beauty about, and this is probably a very odd thing to say, and it's probably not very popular, but there is a real beauty to our stillborn babies. Ei, taua ātāhua, e kore e kitea. E tika ana, kao. Kāre e tika ana, heoi anō. Ka kite ana koe i te tamaiti whānau ma te kahu mai. They've been touched by...
Frozen in purity.
Yeah, just pure.
Yeah.
Tapu rawa. Tapu rawa. Kamutu e whakapono nui ana haua tātou o te rau o tātou tamariki katoa he mea heke i ngā rangi katoa e tai mai ai rātou ki a tātou. They, descend the 12 heavens e ai ki ngā whakaaro Māori, rangi tūhāhā, ne. Ngā rangi katoa ka heke iho mai rātou. Me te ahei whakapono nui ana hau, ia rangi ka tai atu nei waua tamariki, they are touched. Ka tūtaki rātou ki ngā atua Māori, ki ngā tipuna, ki o rātou nui te pō. And it's just like, I imagine, like taku kuia, kua rua tau e ngaro ana, I can imagine that, nā taku kuia tonu i ei tono mai. Nā taku kuia i ei tono mai, and she would have just given her a little kiss and a hug before sending her down. And koira, I think that's why I sort of am a little bit more open to speaking about this. Yeah. Because of my whakapono. Kei te tino whakapono nui ahau. Aha kua kāria i konei, kei te ora tonu ia. Ai. Me te aha, kua waimari e ia, ai tana haere tahi atu me te kingi Māori. If you're going to have any entourage to go home with, you want to go with the best.
Yeah, that fellow
and she went with the king.
Cool
Ai. That's right.
Yeah, the back doors.
Me te ariki nui, nā reira, i hoki ia ki te kāinga tūturu mō tāua te tangata, me kingi tū heitia. Me pehea e kore ai e mihi a tau āhuatanga. Nā te kingi tonu taku tamaiti whakahoki ki te kāinga. Koenei ngā whakapono e tino tau nei taku ngākau, ki te kōrero mō enei āhuatanga.
How does one help you with this journey? Because I haven't experienced this, and I so appreciate you coming in to talk about this experience, because it's so important to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's something that I haven't been able to talk about with anyone. How has that journey been like for you?
Yeah, I think because I understand the importance of talking about this kaupapa, kua kaha ia hau I te rangi nei ki te hara mai. It's not that it's easy to talk about, but I'm only just sort of starting to see people that I haven't seen for a long time who either haven't heard about what happened or I haven't spoken to since losing our baby. Nā reira koira au I tai mai te rangi nei, because if what I bring to the table today means that no other mama has to experience grief ghosting, it will be worth it. Aha kua te uau o te whakakōrero I ngā kare aroto. Yeah.
And what is this term, grief ghosting?
Well, what is grief ghosting? Kāre hoki au I mōhio. Ka whakamahi pia au I te tangihanga o taku kuia hei tauira. I te matenga o taku kuia I waimari hau ki taku hapori katoa. When an elderly person passes, it's a little bit more fathomable and easier to believe. Ka ruha, ka māwiwi te tinana. But infant loss is so unnatural. It is outrageously unnatural and ridiculously unfathomable that if you've not experienced it, or if you're already no good with grief anyways, what people tend to do, what I've come to learn is what people tend to do is they tend to sort of distance themselves. When my sister-in-law gave birth to baby, we were at the hospital with her for 4 days. Kāre mātou I pirangi wehe I te hohipera, kia noho tata tonu ki tana mama. And I had lots of people around me. I had my in-laws, I had my whānau, my friends, you know, all my whāngai, and I still felt like I was metaphorically and unconsciously reaching out for people. I felt this desperation, and I couldn't figure out why. And it wasn't until we got home that a couple months after, I realised I was reaching out for people. I wasn't used to having such a little puna of people around me. I was used to the whole shebang. And then, waimari au I aku in-laws, you know, they really let me and my tāne make most of the decisions and trusted that whatever decision we made, we would make with the knowledge of making sure everyone was going to be okay as we could be in the time. Nā reira, I kawe a te taku tamaiti ki hoane Waititi mo tana karakia whakamutunga, and I needed to go home. I needed to go home, and, you know, I wasn't the only one waiting for her. We were all waiting for her. I puta te rongo kei te whāngai tamariki maiwa ko taku tāne. So everyone was waiting for her. Tai ana ki reira I kino te tangi, I kino te umere, I tino rongo I te pauri o te whānau mo te pare kura I Pākehā mātou. Because it didn't just happen to us, it happened to all of us. I'm part of lots of group chats in Facebook Messenger, and I posted in a few of them, because I'm really close with those people, to say, we're going to be at Hoani Waititi for baby's last karakia, me mea wate ana koutou hara mai ki te kore e pai ana. No reply. Nothing. Not even a aroha nui. Whakaaro nui ana kia koutou. And it pissed me off. It pissed me off because Mum and Dad have always raised my sisters and I to be kanohi kitea. If anyone needs us for anything, we are there. So I thought, you know, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but I was like, fuck you, you know.
Tukuna,
yeah,
man.
Like, fuck yous. Yeah. Whenever you need me, I am there for you. It might not be in the physical sense, but I call, I ring, I send kai. Where the fuck are yous? You know, I was crying out for my people. And about a month and a half later, I had a conversation with two of my best friends, Kalani, who is a whanaunga now to Tahu, has married Tahu's first cousin, and my beautiful tuakana Te Mihiroa, who has also faced infant loss twice. And they just spoke to me about their experiences. And then Kalani found a reel on Instagram that had the title Grief Ghosting. And koira te grief ghosting. People either find it too hard or they just don't want to. Everyone else who's experienced grief ghosting, we have to sit there with the memories of the babies we were meant to have that belonged to us, that we were ripped off. I have to sit there and look at my baby's whakahua on our pai at home, and I have to look at her clothes that I bought. I have to look at all the taonga that I acquired for her, not you. So I was really mad. I've only sort of just stopped being mad because I finally understood that sometimes people just don't know what to say, so they don't say anything at all. In times of grief, no one wants to say the wrong thing, but especially when it comes to infant loss. But in a nutshell, I guess that's been my experience of grief ghosting.
So how do we ensure that kamanakitia tonutia tō wairua, ka rongo tonu hoki koe te wairua? Like, what are the things we need to say? What wraparound support do you think is needed to ensure that kamanakitia tonutia te whānau I roto I te rā mamai?
My grandmother, who passed 2 years ago, told me at a very young age that grief is just a whole lot of love that doesn't have a home to return to anymore. That's what grief is. Grief is love. I think the best way to help people who are grieving and to not be the cause of someone feeling really lonely is just to be there. Kanohi kitea. E harai te mea me kōrero.
Harai te mea me kaue kōrero, eh?
Engari, harai te mea me kaue kōrero, There is no right or wrong. And you're probably going to fuck up and say the wrong thing at one point, you know?
Our whānau, we just address it.
Yep.
Like we just...
And so do we.
We have to wānanga it.
Yep.
And You know, like, I was just thinking back to our last time we were together was only a couple months ago, 2 months after this had happened. And we got to sit on the deck and just cuddle up and love up on each other and just yarn about everything that's gone on for you the last couple of years. And it's because I need to know, like I want to know how you're going.
Yeah.
With my whānau, I remember with te wā tino ngana māua ko chei mō
Ki te
tēnei.
whakawhānau,
Ki te whakawhānau pepi. You know, he ino nui i te whakamoemoti ia te pō, mo tēnei pepi. Tau māua ki ngā tākuta, and ko tā rātou whakautu, oh, well, maybe it's IV is the option. And I went home to Kia Anu in Ngawe, and I just cried in the middle of the lounge there, and cried to Uncle and Auntie and said, I just want babies, so I just want
So
them.
much.
So much, and I can't have one, and I'm scared I can't have them.
Yeah.
And I felt all of my, Kia Anu and Ngawe, my brothers, seize up in that moment where they didn't know how to feel for me because they have their pepe and they're my babies. These are, you know, who I who I need to see. And I remembered straight away Ngawe going, oh, well, try again tonight.
Hey, like it's just...
You're just like sitting there with not knowing what to do.
But that's another way of supporting someone going through grief, you know? Because if you're not going to laugh about it, you're just going to cry about it all the time. Me paku puta tētahi hari. But I mean, even that in itself, you've got two people sitting here who for so long tried to have children. Ko hapu tētahi, one still trying. And, you know, I guess you see that the world isn't so big, that there isn't someone going through the same thing as you or something similar. In the last 5-6 years, I think, since we've been going to Manaia, Te Ngāwari and I, it has become my another whakaoranga. I need to go to Manaia every year. I need to go and be with that whānau of mine. I need to be with Auntie Ree. I need to be with my girls. Because koira te wāhi e tino rongo ai ahau I te ngākau maru. Ko Manaia, tētahi whakaai o whenua I nāi. Nā reira
Ngāti maru.
Ngāti maru. Hey, and you know, because the father and I whawhai kino nei mo te ingoa o Pepe. We had started talking about names, and because their moana is tikapa I Koromanara, I Manaia, well, koira te wāhi e tūhono nei wā maiua whakapapa I te tairāwhiti, ko tikapa, ko te horo. So, had she been born alive, her name was most likely going to be Tikapa.
And we would have claimed
And they would have claimed baby. So I had to tell Auntie Ree, te auntie o tahu, I had to tell Auntie Ree, okay, we were probably going to name her Tikapa, but not your Tikapa. Our Tikapa. I te tairāwhiti. But that's another way of supporting someone who's facing some really fucking heavy grief. Is kia whakakatahia te tangata. Hey, Pono, he mea, ka timu te tai, ka pari te tai. Forever, you just learn how to live with it. But te hunga e whakarongo nei, me mātakitaki nei, I promise you that having a better relationship with grief will really benefit you in your lifetime. It will make things a little bit easier to deal with when horrible things happen, if horrible things happen. And it also teaches you how to best support others. Because mohi korua ki au, I'm not the nicest of people. You know, I'm a bit of an asshole to most people. But I'm the best asshole. I'm the asshole that you want on your team. Asshole, yeah, I'm the asshole that you want on your team. Because I am.
have you on mine.
I am. And that, there is really no rhyme or wrong or rhyme or reason to it.
But was this something that you as a whānau prepared for?
I think that's what probably makes me, one of the things that makes me most sad is of all the things we spoke about with my sister-in-law, this was not something we spoke about. Because who speaks about this? Who even prepares for, who even prepares for a situation like this? We spoke about home births and we spoke about her name, how we were all going to raise her, how often we were going to be back in the coast, how often my sister-in-law would come up. We did not speak about baby dying, you know. And on top of that, we didn't speak about my sister nearly dying, because that's it. You know, she was in an induced coma still when she gave birth to our baby. And we had baby upstairs and she was downstairs in ICU, still in a coma. We couldn't talk to her. We couldn't ask her what she wanted, and we didn't prepare for it. So there was no plan. The thing that we weren't prepared for the most was our own grief, but watching the people we love grieve our baby. Like I watched my mum, you know, I watched my mum absolutely love on that mokopuna. And because it was, you know, she was meant to be ours, we were meant to be her mātua. In that little world we got caught up in, I forgot that Nana Ana was meant to be a kuia again, and korotahuri, and Auntie Ua, Auntie Nans, and Ahu, you know, Taku Pipi was meant to have another taina. So to watch my people grieve our baby was the hardest thing. I was trying to figure out, what can I do to make your grief a little bit easier? Well, I was already going through my own grief. That was the hardest part, was not being prepared for this, was not being prepared. So I am so proud of how we navigated these new experiences. I've also never met another mum expecting a whāngai who has been born stillborn, or who they've lost in miscarriage. So I didn't have any I didn't have anything to relate to. I didn't have anyone to talk to about that. You know, I really felt like I shouldn't be feeling this sad because I never got to mother her. I never got to be her mum here in the physical world. And it was when my sister-in-law woke up and we sort of had a yarn along the lines of, you were her mum. I aroha nuitia ia e koe, I mua no atu I te tūtakitanga atu. When you said yes to taking her, you loved her from that moment. From that moment, and probably before when I had asked the first time. So I felt really validated. I felt really validated by my whānau, especially my in-laws, because, you know, that's my tāne's niece, a whakapapa nei. So aha kua te aha, he ngā whakapapa, tērā. I'm still the daughter-in-law or the sister-in-law. They gave me the space. They created the space for me to be a mum to her in those 4 days that we had her. No one said, oh, give me my moko, or, you know, if I had her, kāre te tai whakararu i au. You know, they just let me have her. They let me change her. We took photos. So, me tino mihi au ki te rā ahuatanga. But yeah, we were not prepared. It's cruel that people who have so much love to give have to face things like this. Not just me, everyone.
That was the thing I found I started to get diddy about when on our chase of a baby, was I was getting mad at people that had babies that I thought didn't deserve them.
Yeah, and I
started to become a kaupapa, like, Era, how do you keep getting babies? You suck. You suck.
Yeah, you suck. I know. And there's 2 things I can't stand in this world, is shit parents and shit marae people. So I was like, yeah, and I was the same. For about a good month after baby died, I didn't hang with my hapu friends, because as horrible as it is to say, I hated them. I hated them for being hapu, for you know, being happy in their haputanga and expecting their baby. But I didn't really hate them. Just at the time, because of how grief-stricken I was, and I was definitely still in the angry stage of grief, I didn't want to be around any puku or any newborns. And, you know, ko taku tino tangata, as much as, you know, we've fought and I tuki i ngā taui mua, ko te korau. Te korau koia, like, ka puta ana i tana waha o na karakia, ka rongoa hau i te haumaru. Ka rongoa hau i aku atua Māori me te wāhingaro e whakatata mai ana. He was sick during the week. We had baby at the hospital. And I rang him every day, or I rang Junea every day. And I te kōpū hoki a Junea. I needed him, I needed Junior, and I needed Ura. Yeah, koira waku tuakana, koira taku pepi, you know. But I was really distant. I hope she didn't feel that, but I was with Junior at the hospital, and then tōna tikanga I haere au ki te tūtaki I te pepe hou, I tana whānautanga mai, kare au I haere. Kare au I haere, because I was just like, no. Because we had talked about our babies are going to be in the same class at Kura. We're going to be those parents, you know. I was like, I can't see her right now. And it was sort of like, you know, again, nā te wairua tonu, mātou I arahi, I tū te tahi moko papa I Hoani Waititi te tauhou, I tai atu mātou. Mātou ko Junior, ko Ura, ko Pepirei ora. So I had no choice. Whakaponono ia nā hau, ko taku kōtiro tērā, me waku tipuna e mea ana, whakakorea, ko rahi tēnā, ko rahi te whakamau, ko rahi te whakamau, haere ki te tūtaki ki tō iramutu. So yeah, there's so many things that happen, but I totally understand that. Even when I wasn't meant to have, you know, even before we knew we were going to get a whāngai, just couldn't. There were always times where I just couldn't be around any puku. I don't want to be around any puku. I don't want to see anyone kopu, because it's unfair. Something that brings so much joy and happiness to people shouldn't be so unnatural that you have to fight tooth and nail to get it, like having a baby, you know. And for a long time, because I have struggled, I thought that I am a woman who cannot do the one thing a woman is meant to do in this world. What is wrong with me? What did I do in my upbringing to deserve this? But it's not like that. I've realised it really isn't like that. It's just sort of the draw. It's just the actual miracle. Yeah, it's the draw that you're given. Yeah. And kei te whakapono ahau, come hell or high water, I will have my own tamariki. Whether it be a whakapapa or whāngai, I will have them.
Whakapono hokia.
Yeah. Well, I taku rongohanga kua hapu a tahurau ko che. I tino tangi takungaka. I've already told my bro this, but because I know the struggle of, and I know the mental capacity it takes to be able to hold yourself in that space of stress, of what am I doing wrong? You know, it just stresses you out to the point where you can really do some damage to your own tinana, you know. And koira, I mate au ki te Whāriki Green Lane Hospital mo tētahi tau, kia whāngai au ki ngā pire, ki ngā wero, ki ngā hara nei, mo te kino o taku tinana, because I had stressed myself so much trying to have a baby. You know, tā reira, I te rongohanga atu ko hapua chei, I tino tangi taku ngākau. Now I'm in a space where I can be happy for my bros, you know. Kāre au e pukuriri ino, nei kua, you know, we sort of come out of that space and we're into a new part of grief. It's sort of that somber feeling that you just, you know, you sit with your grief. Well, I sit with my grief and remind myself every day, I am blessed. I am blessed. And if for whatever reason it doesn't happen, I will never be alone. And I will never be without the experience of being a mother. Because koira te mahi a te auntie me te uncle I Te Ao Māori. Ko tātou katoa ngā māma me ngā papa o ngā tamariki katoa. Yeah.
Koira te atahua o tēnei kupu o te kōka.
Ai.
It means mama, but it also means auntie, and, you know, anyone that holds that title has a responsibility to all of the tamaiti that call that special person kōka. Mihi ana ki a koe, mihi ana ki a koe haere mai, ki te kōrero I tēnei kaupapa taumaha. Engari, I roto I te pō me te mamai, you know, e rua ngā mea haere tahi I tēnei ao. Ko te ora hoki kei roto, ko te tūmanako e rongo ana I te ora o te kōrero mo tēnei kaupapa, mo te whakatairanga I tēnei kaupapa, me kore tūpono pā tēnei tūahuatanga ki tētahi atu. Kua whai pou rātou, hei pou whirina ki mō rātou, no right, kei te whanaunga, tēnā rau atu koe. Ka pai, that's our show for today, tēnā rau atu koutou I hono mai ki tēnei tā tātou punua pāho, Under The Whāriki.
Thank you all for watching. Love you all.